Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. I got my good friend Matthew with me today. Matthew, how are you, my friend?
Good to see you, man. I'm doing well. Thank you.
You enjoying the weather? It's freaking cold out here, man.
Is it?
Dude. Yeah, it's like 60, raining. It sucks.
It's cooling off here a little bit. It's been a pretty mild summer, as you know, so not too bad. But good to see you, brother.
So, government shutdown. My life didn't get any worse, right? They're all freaking out. But there's something, we were just talking about this before the video, and this is what I want this video to focus on. The Democrats overplayed their hand. They put the illegal immigrants above the American citizens. And now Trump is going to start defunding all these states and federal subsidies that they get. And a lot of people don't know this, during a government shutdown, the president has almost unlimited power to take federal funding away from states or the federal government without the approval of Congress or Senate. And that's what he's doing. And now, but this is where they're dangerous, because they're like, why would I go down? Let me take down the system with me. I want to play this clip before, and then I want you to kind of break it down and comment for us.
So, McKay, first of all, fascinating article. And it made me think about how you talk about kind of Russ Vought as, I'd say, the opposite of Elon Musk. You know, he was brought in to head Doge, but he was kind of improvisational, to say the least. But when you talk about Russ Vought, he was always there, right? Quietly, strategically planning a way. So my question to Michael's point is, what are you watching for next as the two men, the president and Russ Vought, are meeting?
Yeah, the big question that he's going to have to answer in this meeting with President Trump, and that all of us should be paying very close attention to, is where is he recommending furloughs, which is the traditional thing that happens during a shutdown, versus where is Vought recommending reduction in force, which is essentially permanently firing these people, right? Because this is a really important thing that voters and viewers need to understand. This shutdown could be very different from all the shutdowns that we've lived through over the last several years. I think we've become kind of inured to this idea that we have a dysfunctional government, shutdowns happen, it's disruptive, but then they come back. What Vought is trying to do is to use this opportunity to permanently lop off large parts of the federal government, get rid of federal workers that he sees as basically not on board with the Trump train. And to Michael's point, when I would ask Vought's allies, well, what about this question of when a Democrat gets back into the White House? That's going to happen someday. Aren't you going to regret, this huge power grab? And what they said to me, and they were very candid about it, to their credit, they said, well, the goal is to unravel enough of the federal government now that it will make it impossible for Democrats to rebuild it, even when they do get back to the White House.
One of the things
So they were interviewing people, Trump's team, who are talking about, right? Because right now Trump can fire anyone and a judge can't do anything about it. He can take funding away from any state that he wants if it's federal funding. No judge, Congress, no one can do anything about it. I like this more. And they were saying, well, aren't you afraid that when Democrats get back into power, they're going to do the same thing to you? He says, no, because we want to unravel it so much that even when you do get back in power, we took away your tools to do that. And this is where Charlie Kirk's legacy, I think, will always live. One thing he talked about more than anything, give rights back to the states. Give rights back to the states. Take down the federal government and give the rights back to the states. Take it away, Matt.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, the federal government's got, something like 4 million employees. What do these people do? A lot of these people don't even show up, right? We had that issue, what was it, last year or earlier in the year, where Trump wanted to get rid of the people that were not even showing up to office. They're all working from home.
Yep.
They create this bloated bureaucracy, and they keep people dependent on the government. This is a great opportunity to eliminate government. And keep in mind, if we eliminate that system, we're going to have somewhere to go, keep in mind. And I believe what's coming here is going to be setting up public trusts in different states where people can be a part of a public trust. That's really how you want to run it. I think we could even get rid of the presidency if you want me to be honest with you. The presidency is almost unnecessary. Congress and all that, everything should be done at a local level. And who talks a lot about this? General Flynn. You know General Flynn very well. General Flynn talks about everything happens on a local level. Local impact is national impact. And if we're going to take a page out of Flynn's book, we have to look at the local level. And again, this is also what Charlie Kirk was preaching. God rest his soul. What we need to do is we need to set up public trust. I would encourage people to start looking into information like that, regaining your sovereignty, exiting the corporation, and moving into something that is sovereign, that's real, that would give you, your home ownership back. That would eliminate your property taxes. That would eliminate your income taxes. It would eliminate everything. The government's been a scam, and we got to get rid of it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Trump does here.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, no, you make a great point, because if you think about it, why the federal government was pretty much set up to, right, we protect our borders if there's a war, military, and how to deal with other countries. When it's within, it's got to be, right, it's got to be states, it's got to be counties, cities, right? It's kind of like the lower down you go, the more authority they should have on the local, but they flipped it to where the big guy who's never been there.
The power structure goes from this, right, everything at the top, to flipping it to we the people. Yes. That's the way you want to do it. That's why Trump does those hand signals, right? That's why you see Trump. That's a communication from Trump. That's probably where we're headed.
According to some people, that's because it's I don't know. I've heard people say, "Look, he's a Mason."
My tinfoil hat, Vlad. It's my tinfoil hat.
Yeah. They say he's a Mason, and then they're like, "Look, I just recently found out, and not even from the media, that he married his daughter into a very, very powerful Jewish family, and she converted to Judaism. She's over there kicking it with, and the dude she married, his dad is one of the creators, funders, and to this day controllers of the Iron Dome. That's what
Kushner.
Yes,
Jared Kushner.
We'll see. But this is where I want to get to the point. The Democrats, right? And you talk about this, right? Think about a dog that is cornered, a dog that is scared, a dog that's about to, you either fight and you got 1% chance of winning, but fight and die, or just die. And I think the Democrats and the rhinos are in that position to where they're about to lose power and if they lose power, they lose votes. If they lose votes, elections go to the way they're supposed to. The Democrats will not win. I don't see them win. Yeah, they'll win Congress seats here and there. They'll win a Senate seat here and there, but a president? No. To hold a majority? No. And this is where you often talk about they will take down. They don't mind killing you if they're dying. They want to take down everyone. They're like that evil villain in those movies. If I'm going down, you're going down with me. We're taking the babies. We're taking the families. We're taking the men, women, everyone's going.
They want to escape in the chaos, right? What you're saying is exactly right. A cornered animal, right? When an animal's cornered, that's when it acts the craziest. And that's what you're seeing. And what these people decide to do, maybe they pull the plug on the stock market. Maybe they pull the plug on, some of the real government statistics, namely about, let's say, the dollar and what the dollar really is, right? What is the Dixie? The Dixie's the value of the dollar. That's what measures the value of the dollar. It's a comparative statistic. So the dollar, it's being compared to other fiat currencies around the world. They're all shit, right? They're all garbage. So what I tell people, obviously being as a gold dealer here in Glendale, basically what I tell people is, get your money out of this fiat nonsense. It's the whole system's a charade. Get your money into treasury money, gold eagles, silver eagles, right? Even platinum eagles. Get your money out of the system, out of the current system, and move it over to the treasury system, because I believe that's where Trump's going to strike. That's where he's going to build up our money. What's he going to do? Save the Federal Reserve System? No, he's not saving the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is a deep state operated system. They created, right? Everybody knows the history. I'm sure your audience are smart people, right? Created in 1913. Blah 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 blah. It's illegal. It's fake. It's Federal Express. No, you want to move your money into real tangible wealth, and see what happens. This is not a time to. This is a time where you want to store the value of your money. You don't want to be in the markets taking risk, right? It's not just a risk in the market, but what's going to happen to that bank? What exposure does that bank have to a collapse? Probably major. Just think 2008 on steroids. So yeah, I just tell people, just get the hell out of Dodge.
I want to ask. I want to ask you a very straightforward question. I'm putting you on the spot.
It's
All right.
okay. Go for it.
As somebody who, lived with you, you're a good friend of mine, but there's a reason why you started your company. And I want my audience to know why, right? We've talked about this, and a lot of your customers, this is why your customers are so happy. And tell them kind of about, like, because you've been in the industry for many, many years, and then you got tired of seeing what companies are doing and you started your own. You're one of the only people that people can come in and meet the owner. Call that number right there on the screen. That's your personal cell phone number. That goes right to the owner of the company. And if they go into your company, who do they see? Your fiance and her son. That's it. It's not a huge call center. It's a family owned, and they can go in, they meet with you. And before they pay, they see they know what they're getting. They know the prices. Kind of share that, because even just last week, we had a person who called off the show and shared what another company, we're not going to mention their name, we're trying to do to them. So again, I'm just saying this because yes, we're going somewhere where you need to protect yourself. But do not forget, a lot of people talk a big game, that they care for you and they want to look out for you. But look, they don't care. They don't live by God's principles. This is something that me and you became friends because of another company I was working with. And then I was like, what is going on? And so then you're like, I'm leaving. I'm starting my own. Let's do the right thing. And, it's been over a year. We're doing great. As far as I know, you're the only one who people can meet the owner, meet the entire staff, which is just 3 people, a small family. They can, come in, see what they're getting, when they're getting, how much they're getting, and self-storage IRA options. Kind of lay that out for people.
So yeah, thank you, Vlad. And I consider you a friend and an ally in terms of what we're doing, not just in the gold business, but just in life. And I know your family, and I know your wife, your 4 beautiful daughters. I love them all with I would take a bullet for any which one of you. And I love your parents, your mom and your dad, obviously just amazing people. But yeah, there's the gold business, and I'll just be very candid with people. The gold business is just an unregulated Wild West. Vlad has seen not even just viewers from this show here, but other shows that I go on. He's seen statements that have shown him of what people paid for their gold, and it should be illegal, but there's no regulation against it. These people are paying 100 and 200% premiums. It's theft. It's literally theft. And I think these companies and their brokers, by the way, charging what they're charging, they know what they're doing. These brokers, believe it or not, they have liability too. It's not just like, oh, the company when the owner of the company told me to do it. It's like, no. When you're charging those types of premiums, you're taking most IRAs, for example, that we deal with, and I deal with all ages, but most IRAs that I deal with are people, let's say at least 50, usually 60, 70, maybe even people in their 80s. What do you think? I'm going to go these people are taking grandma's money. They come in with $500,000 or $1 million IRA. Half that money is gone in commissions to these gold companies. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that to people. I have no interest in that. That's blood money. What I want to do is I want to build a great reputation and do a good job for people, have a great set of reviews on my Google page, which we do. We have 5-star reviews. When we do this stuff, people are getting great pricing. They're getting put in the right products, and they have fewer people to deal with. I have the whole purview of somebody's IRA account that they need a distribution or they need liquidity. I do it for them personally. It's no problem. It's easy to do. But yeah, you go to these other companies that you see advertised all over these, and it's unfortunate because you see them endorsed by Rudy Giuliani or even Donald Trump Jr. And it's unfortunate because these companies are they're absolute ripoff artists. They're ripoff. I see the invoices. I see people that come to me, Matt, can you take a look at my old IRA that I did with this company a couple of years ago? And I look at it, and they're paying 100 and 200% premiums. We will not do that to anybody. We're going to send you an invoice, and they won't even give you an invoice, by the way. Yeah. When we do business, I send you an invoice, you review it, I go on the phone with you, we go over it together, say, hey, here's what you're getting, here's what you're paying, here's the quantity you're getting, here's the total, right? Line by line, sign off on it. I don't have any airtight legal agreements that, if somebody had a problem down the line that, oh, you can't sue me because I have all this legalese, put in place in this contract. No, I make it very easy. I do a good job for people. That's why I'm not worried about a lawsuit from a client because we did a great job for them and they see that. People have nothing but good things to say. And I wish I wish people just in general in business, I feel like just to kind of extrapolate into just the business world, everybody's out to get everybody. And it's so unfortunate. I think what we need to do is we need to be out to help each other, be out to support one another. And hey, if I'm a gold dealer, hey, you come to me for gold. Hey, if you're if you deal in another business, I'm going to come to you. And we all take care of each other. And that's kind of the culture I want to breed, not just in my business, but the country, and in my community. I know it sounds cliche and maybe a little corny, but it's true. And I think we all have to kind of think like that and kind of take a step back and just kind of reflect on, what impact am I having on the world? I'm just a gold dealer. You can go to a million different places, but people know when they come to me, they have a great, honest relationship, transparency. And I always tell people, hey, go to your local gold dealer. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not offended by that. I just think it's a great asset. It's an important place to be. And even if you go to your local dealer, hey, you know what? Good. Support them. Keep them in business. I'm all for that. But certainly when it comes to the IRA stuff, most local dealers don't do that. Come to me. We'll take great care of you. We do the self-storage option. I mean, we really lay out the red carpet for people. And, I feel very proud of what we've built here. And thank you for being a part of it, Vlad. I couldn't have done it without you.
No, it's great. I mean, in 1 year, I learned a lot. And I just recently, and Ethan told me that almost everyone who works for the Federal Reserve, right? Or like when they're done there, they go work for a gold company.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So so think about that, ladies and gentlemen. The very corrupt Federal Reserve, who controls how money's made and spent, they look at that, and these greedy bastards, I don't know how else to call them, when they look out into the United States and all the businesses they could do when they leave the Federal Reserve, they say, I'm going to go work for one of these major gold companies because, again, it goes, and this is why I wanted you to share. There's so many other companies out there. I mean, we have people off my show who would call in just like, oh, they're doing already with someone else. Can you take a look at this? Or just call in and be like, is it normal that I've been waiting 6 months for my gold and nothing, and now they won't pick up the phone. It's out there. This stuff's real. And again, the reason I wanted that out is because, number one, we warn people of anything could happen. Tomorrow, we could wake up and we truly will be in the golden age of America and the best economy that ever happened. It could happen. But also, the Lord might come back tomorrow and all of this was for nothing. But also, maybe my day is tomorrow to where I don't see the day after tomorrow. That could also happen. But maybe things just according to scripture go to where Jesus says, prepare. Because the closer we get to the end, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And it gets better once God reigns supreme. But it's going to get tough. It's going to get difficult. It's going to get bumpy. There is going to be this new satanic financial system. Jesus says, those who have eyes, let them see. And those who have ears, let them hear. He's not saying, oh, like you're going to be bound. No, he's saying, have the wisdom to understand the times. Know where you are. And as people who we're going to talk about this and warn, we should also warn about, yes, we do recommend precious metals, but this is, I mean, again, you worked for many years for other companies and you're like, I'm tired. Like, I can't do this anymore. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
And thankfully I never charged the premiums that these guys are charging today. I mean, back in the day, it was, 20%, which is still a lot of money. That's a tremendous amount of, in commission. But with what we do, we charge a small fraction of that now. And I attribute that to my great team. I have a really great back office. We work on we're not sitting here trying to get rich off grandma. What we want is we want volume of business. We want to take care of people, build our reputation, and just make sure our fellow patriots are taken care of. This is a great community of people. I mean, these are, the people calling from your show, Vlad, and the other Patriot shows that I sit in on. These are the salt of the earth. These are the people that have woken up to what's really going on. They're screaming from the hilltops, trying to explain to their Democrat friends, hey, this is what's really going. All these people that think, Trump's evil, and they're sitting there explaining, like, no, Trump's taking down evil. That's what he's here to do. And we got to take care of our fellow patriots, and that's my mission. That's my mission at this point in my life. So,
no, and we're gonna win one way or another.
We're gonna win,
gentlemen.
We're gonna win.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, that is Matthew's personal cell phone number, the 480-717-9081. Call him, text him, tell him you're calling off the show. He'll take care of you. Or if you, or like you, Matt, always say, if people just want to talk, they want to get some advice, or
Call me and say hello. Absolutely, I love it. I always love it. So thank you, Vlad, and you keep up the good work too, man. Your show's really, it's kicking ass, and people need the great insights and information. I always learn from you. You know, you always put me on a great information. So thank you.
Yeah. Hey, likewise, brother. Thank you. Love you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Talk to you soon. We're out.